Hello everyone, Tony here once again, and today we're gonna do the real review of Tom Ford's Tobacco Vanille. Now, when I say real review, it doesn't mean that anybody else's review is fake. No, what I mean by that is that I purchased this fragrance myself with my own money, so I'm not gonna pledge no allegiance to nobody. There is no brand loyalty. I'm a real consumer just like you. There is no affiliate link so you can click, buy something, and I get some commission. None of that. And most importantly, I am not trying to sell you anything. If I tell you that I like something, that means that I really like it. And if I tell you that I don't like something, that means I really don't like it. And yes, I am 100% ripping off Flossie Carter on that intro. I am in no way, and I repeat, I am in no way, shape or form claiming that I am an expert or that I know more than anyone else in the fragrance community. I'm just gonna share my thoughts and experience with you so you can decide if you drop your hard-earned money in a bottle of perfume or not. Take my review and really anyone's review with a grain of salt. We all have different perceptions, different skin chemistry, and of course, different taste. So let's get busy. First, let me clarify something. Both bottles that I own are recent. I acquired both bottles after Estée Lauder bought Tom Ford. So these are not vintage bottles. Now, let's start off with one of the most important aspects when it comes to purchasing a new fragrance. The price. There is really no point of telling you how much these fragrances cost right now, because if you watch this video 2, 3, 5 years from now, chances are price is gonna be a little or a lot higher due to inflation. But as of right now, you can get this fragrance, the 100 milliliter bottle, for 445 American dollars. Price is always gonna be subjective. There are some people who may save up for months, or maybe years in this case, just to get this fragrance. And there are some other people who can afford 3 or 5 $300 fragrances in a single purchase on a regular basis. So it depends on each people's economy, of course. But in my opinion, the price is right. Why am I saying that? Stay tuned for the answer. Is this worth $445? Let's find out. Now let's continue with the notes. According to Tom Ford's website, this is a warm, iconic blend of tobacco, vanilla, and sweet wood sap accords. Tobacco Vanille is reminiscent of the very finest of private clubs. A classic fragrance infused with tonka bean, vanilla, cocoa, dried fruit accords, and notes of sweet wood sap for a modern, opulent, and heady impression. Now that is a great overall product description, but it seems that we're gonna need to head to my beloved Fragrantica once again to see the olfactive pyramid. So on the top notes, we've got tobacco leaf and spicy notes. On the middle notes, we have vanilla, cacao, tonka bean, and tobacco blossom. And on the base notes, we have dried fruits and woody notes. By the way, this is an EDP concentration, eau de parfum. We have great quality notes in here. Some of them are natural, some of them might be synthetic, but that's irrelevant. This is an iconic scent. Now, what do I smell in here? Remember, this is the part of the video that is kind of subjective, because what I'm about to tell you is my perception, and it may vary from your perception. Now, let's remember, this is one of the best sellers of the brand. Tom Ford has some of the most iconic scents in the commercial/premium perfumery, and sometimes even playing with a niche scent profile. This is not the case. This is gonna smell cozy, sophisticated, elegant, and opulent, but not in the weird way that the Western noses may perceive some more challenging compositions. What Tom Ford did here was creating an iconic scent that smells exactly like the name suggests. Tobacco, vanilla. When you first spray this, the first thing you're gonna notice is a ton of spices exploding right in your face, with the interpretation of a sweet/spicy take on a tobacco leaf. Like if you were smelling the wrapper of a fine cigar. What that does is setting up the dark, opulent, and elegant atmosphere for the rest of the notes to come in play, which means the vanilla will enter the game on a creamy/milky facet, enforced of course by the tonka bean. And the cacao note also gets in the spotlight, giving this a kind of chocolatey, spicy/gourmand note, which a lot of people tend to notice a lot. For me, it's just another layer, and we will not have to wait an eternity for the woody notes to appear. They're not dominant by any means. Again, that's just another layer. I assume their role is to support the composition as a canvas. Needless to say, this is a sweet fragrance with the oriental touch that spices and cacao provides. I like sweet fragrances. They're definitely not my favorite type of scent, but I do enjoy some of them. This is delicious and 100% tolerable for my nose, unlike Black Phantom by Killian, which for my nose is just sickeningly sweet. Now, I'm not saying that Black Phantom it's a bad fragrance, absolutely not. I'm just saying that it's not for me, that's it. As far as the tobacco blossom, I don't really get that. Same thing with the dried fruit notes. I don't smell any of those in here. They are surely hidden underneath the layers, but I don't quite get them. And in case you really want the smell of dried fruit notes in the battlefront of a fragrance, try Camel by Zoologist. Good luck with that. Now, I just mentioned some of the notes to highlight some aspects of it. Not all the notes, of course. But that's not important because, as I said, that's just my perception. Of course, you can smell different things, different facets, because remember, each nose is a totally different world. Now, let's talk about a very important topic for a lot of people. The compliments. Personally speaking, I couldn't care less about the compliments. And it's kind of crazy because there's a lot of people that buy fragrances with the sole purpose of hopefully feeling validated throughout other people's opinion. That's not my case. I'm one of those weird people that buy fragrances just to please myself, and that's it. If some other people like it, great, but I don't really care about that. That being said, I have received a ton, and I mean a ton of compliments wearing this thing, mainly from ladies. Performance. Now let's talk about performance. But first, let me tell you something. Not all atomizers were created equal. Some of them are average, some of them just get the job done. You got those crappy ones that the bottle of perfume basically spits when you're applying it in your skin and clothing without the consistent burst of perfume. You got the famous mist atomizer, but you gotta play with them. Each kind of atomizer is not gonna eject the same amount of perfume. But this one is average. Now, the performance on Tobacco Vanille is very good. I'm getting 8 hours on average, or sometimes even more, applying this on both my skin and clothing. And I'm talking about 7 to 10 sprays, 12 if it is extremely cold. Now, projection. Using that amount of sprays, you'll be projecting 2 meters from you for 30 minutes. Then you'll have it within your arm's reach or a little bit more for 3 hours. Then it tones down, let's say within your elbow's reach for another couple of hours before it gradually becomes a skin scent. But even then, people will notice because this creates a very dense aura around you. Remember, not all fragrances were created with a purpose of being projecting like crazy with a longevity of 12 plus hours. There are more subtle scents that were created with the purpose of being more intimate, but you won't have to worry about the performance with this. Now, occasions. I'm very sad to announce this is not a versatile fragrance, but the good news is that this is one of the greatest fall/winter nighttime fragrances you can get in the commercial/premium segment. I use this in semi-formal to formal environments. Despite the great performance, this is something that I would definitely not use in a nightclub. The most casual way that I would use this is in a very special date with your significant other in a very nice restaurant. If not a great celebration like New Year's, of course I would use this in a wedding or somewhere where I'll be using a tuxedo or a suit. This is very cozy, very elegant, very alluring, but very sophisticated at the same time. If you happen to be someone that attends red carpet events, this is a great option. This is not your daily driver. This is not your signature scent. This is not your office fragrance. The only exception of a formal use that I could think of is if I want to smell absolutely fantastic when I'm fresh out of the shower before going to sleep. But use 1 or 2 sprays maximum. I'm telling you, there is a time and a place for everything. Use your fragrances purposely. Gender. Let's go with gender. I'm gonna keep this fairly short. This is a 100% unisex fragrance. The tobacco note is not as manly as in Tea Habanero by Renee J, and the vanilla does not evoke something feminine like in Hypnotic Poison by Dior. Age. I would say if you're close to your 30s, both ladies and gentlemen, you're good to go until the rest of your days. Obviously, this is not a playful scent for a teenage to wear. So, quality, amazing. Versatility, 6.5 out of 10. This is something that cannot be used in hot weather. I'm speaking from experience. Performance, great. Compliments, absolutely yes. Personally speaking, despite the spooky price tag, this is a fragrance that I absolutely love. You have a scent that will set you apart from the others, and the performance is very good. I highly doubt anyone is gonna smell similar to you if you wear this. I would definitely classify this as iconic status within the Tom Ford's releases. The price is still quite high, but it does justify it because this is an icon. This is the cornerstone of a scent DNA that many have tried to copy. Speaking about price tags, what I'm about to say applies to all brands in general, but we all know Tom Ford has never precisely been a brand that is budget friendly. Lately, Tom Ford has elevated the prices to a stratospheric level, but my issue with that is, where are the iconic releases? The people that I talk to and myself agree that the recent releases from the private blend collection, which is the pillar-shaped bottle, are just not good enough. Not that they're bad. I'm probably never gonna say that a fragrance is bad. Never say never, but you get it. The recent releases have a noticeable lack of that old school Tom Ford character. Charge me your stratospheric prices, I don't care, but I want your releases to be as good and iconic as this. As good and bold as the also iconic Tuscan leather. As good and bold as your also iconic fabulous. As good and daring as your also iconic Black Orchid, which by the way is much more affordable than the private blend collection. As good and revolutionary as your also iconic Oud Wood. As good as your also iconic and sadly discontinued Tobacco Oud. As good and groundbreaking as your also iconic and also sadly discontinued Oud Wood Intense. As good and distinct as Oud Mineral. Thanks for the relaunch, by the way. It has been your best move in years. I really hope Tom Ford steps his game up. It's one of the brands that is very dear to me, but it doesn't mean that I'm gonna become a fanboy and applaud everything they release. You want to charge a big price? I want your releases as iconic as you used to do. Tom Ford is a premium brand. There is absolutely no doubt about it. As a matter of fact, nobody is even questioning that. But if you want to charge big boy prices which compete with a lot of superior quality niche brands, then you better bring back your big boy creations with big boy quality and of course, big boy performance. Now to finish off this review, remember, at the end of the day, do what you want with your fragrances. No one, and I mean absolutely no one, is entitled to tell you what to do. This is just my opinion as I stated in the very beginning of the video. If this review was useful to you, I would feel very glad, I would feel very honored. But at the end of the day, do as you please. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you made it this far, I really hope you found this video useful. Tack så mycket, merci beaucoup, dankeschön, muito obrigado, muchas gracias, spasiba, quietas, grazie mille, arigato gozaimasu. See you in the next video.